All right, let's go over number 3. Part of a cheerleading routine involves throwing a flyer straight up in the air and catching her on the way down. The flyer begins this stunt with her center of gravity at 4.5 feet above the ground. Don't worry about center of gravity, they're just giving you a point of reference, right? So our initial height is 4.5 feet. H sub naught is 4.5 feet. And she is thrown with an initial vertical velocity of 30 feet per second. So her V sub naught is equal to 30. All right, will her center of gravity reach a height of 20 feet? Explain. Well, let's always begin with our vertical motion model. So her height at any time t will equal negative 16t squared plus V sub naught, which in this case is 30 times t, plus her initial height of 4.5. All right, we want to know, does her height ever get to be 20 feet? Well, there's two ways that you can do this problem. You could put 20 in here. And then if you remember how we did number 2, we have to set it equal to 0. So let's subtract 20 from both sides. And we would get negative 16t squared plus 30t. And then would this be 15 minus 15.5? Then we have our A, our B, and our C for the quadratic formula. When you do this and do it on your calculator, you will get an error message. We haven't quite talked about what that error message means so far, but in the quadratic formula, when you have the square root of b squared minus 4ac, this little doozy in here is called the discriminant. And if the discriminant is negative, you can never take the square root of a negative number, so that's why you get the error message. The way you read that in the context of this problem is no. The answer is no. It never gets to be a height of 20 feet. The other way that you could solve this problem is looking at this model, and you know that the maximum height of a parabola occurs where? It occurs at the vertex. So the vertex is going to occur at a time of negative b over 2a. So our time of the vertex is negative 30 all over twice negative 16. This will be a positive number. When you fill that in for the height, whatever this is, well, let me just go ahead. I want to make it quick, but let's go ahead and do 30 divided by 32, which is 0.935. So at 0.75 seconds, this gymnast or cheerleader is at her maximum height. Well, what is her height at 0.9375? I'm not going to plug it in, but if you do this, you will find that her maximum height does not quite reach 20. So two different ways that you can do this problem. We plugged in 20, we get an error, that means there is no solution, it never happens. Or we could use the coordinates of the vertex to see what their height is. All right, I hope this helped.